People called it a disaster. That was the Hebei Spirit oil spill incident, which took place on December 7, 2007, off the coast of Taean Peninsula, Korea. It only took 13 hours for the 10,900 tons of spilled crude oil to be carried ashore by the tide and cover the western coast of Korea. Before the accident, this was a place blessed with unique attractions and values that set it apart from any other beach in the world. It was designated as one of the world's top 5 wetlands by the Ramsar Convention. It was home to 1,100 different organisms, such as seashells, octopus and crabs, and abalone and seaweed farming was the main source of income in the region.
억장이 무너집니다.
흠이하고 자세만 갖고 가면 여기는 얼마든지 돈 걱정 없이 진짜 걱정 없이 잘 살았네.
자식이라고 비우면은 안 되겠지만 거기에 버금 갑니다. 자식이면
For those whose lives were dependent on the life of the sea, it was a disaster. "600 days have passed since the Hebei Spirit oil spill incident. In our eyes, the ocean is blue, and the white bubbles from the waves and the mudflats seem unchanged. However, the wounds in the unseen, deeper part of the sea have yet to show signs of recovery. The emergency cleanup activities ended in October 2008. However, oil remains are still found on some of the coasts, islands, and seabed. The residents are carrying out cleanup activities, but the dark clouds of the oil spill have not gone away for the locals. After the oil spill, ports were filled with fishing vessels. What used to be one of the most popular tourism destinations in Korea is now seldom visited by people. And with damage compensations being delayed, the livelihoods of the local residents continue to be threatened.
기름 유출 사고 나기 전보다 반 이상 줄였다고 보면 될 겁니다. 지금 뭐 보시다시피 여기 손님 하나도 없잖아요.
근데 지금은 고기가 없어요. 그러니까 방파제에 고기 낚는 사람이 한 사람 없잖아요, 지금. 하나도 없어요, 이거. 뭐 살아있으니까 하나도 없어요.
The government is supporting the growth of the local economy in every efforts to help the local residents recover from the damages. The government has held ocean fishing competitions to improve the overall impression of the seafood from the region, held the Taean open water swimming competition to promote the tourism industry, as well as the Chungcheongnam-do flower exhibition and Taean beach golf competition, among others. Furthermore, the Korean government is also implementing an environmental recovery project for fish farms to recover maritime resources and to support the livelihood of the fishermen, as well as promoting the Hope of Labor program for creating new jobs. As of September 2009, the number of claims which are declared is approximately 126,000. Compensation requests for 70,000 of these cases have been made to the HS Center, but only 6,500 of them are filed so far. Among the 6,500 cases, only 28%, which is 1,800 cases, have been reviewed. Compensations of 66.7 billion won have been made for 660 cases, which is only 10% of the filed cases. This is only 11% of the total compensation amount of the 615 billion won estimated by the fund. In this regard, the delay in reviewing cases in the sector of cleanup, fisheries, and tourism is causing great hardship on people's lives. The the cause of the delay is as follows. The IOPC Fund has modified its database system from April to June 2009 to generate the individual claim numbers in large volume sectors, such as hand-gatherers. Therefore, 60,000 cases out of 70,000 have yet to be filed. In the fisheries field, judgment regarding the appropriateness of government's fisheries restrictions is being delayed, which is causing the considerable delay in the review of fisheries case. The cases of Nammyeon Fisheries Cooperative, which were filed in November 2008, hasn't been reviewed yet, even after a year.
지금 배상 신청한 데 1년 다 돼 가는데 지금 그 어업인들은 하루하루 그 사정되는 날짜만 기다리고 있는 그런 형편인데 너무 안타깝습니다. 그래서 이 사정기관에서는 그 하루라도 빨리 그 주의 어려운 심정을 좀 이해를 해 주셔서 그 사정 인원을 늘리고 또 필요한 자료가 있으면 신속하게 요구를 해서 하루빨리 사정이 이루어져서 우리가 대지급이라도 받을 수 있게 좀 도와주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Furthermore, the small-scale businesses in tourism are rejected due to lack of documentation since cash payment is customary in Korea. That's another reason adding to the burden of the residents.
여기가 이거 금괴예요, 금괴.
둘이 살고 겨우적 그거 조개 조금 팔아다나 누가 그 10,000원, 2, 3만 원 적으면 15,000원 그거 갖다 파는데 누가 그거 적어주고 다 그래요?
In the tourism industry, the lengthy analysis regarding the influence of global economic stagnation and increasing oil prices on the domestic tourism industry in 2008 delayed payments. The payment of the labor farm in Cheongnam, which was filed under the name of the fishing village, was delayed 3 months after the assessment due to legal review regarding the appropriate beneficiary.
소리를 또 띄워달라. 회사 주면 허베이 국제급여에 해다 주면 또 띄워달라. 이래서 결국은 10번씩 전 어가들이 78어가들이 이 소리 이렇게 많은 소리를 띄워서 사실은 지금 현재 제출했습니다.
1 year and 10 months since the accident, many of the requests for cleanup costs in the private sector has not been reviewed. The residents who spent their own money to carry out cleanup operation on uninhabited islands aren't being compensated, which adds to their economic difficulties.
보상 문제가 어느 정도 다만 뭐 100%는 아니지만 그래도 좀 우리가 좀 어느 정도 살 수 있을 만큼이라도 좀 이루어졌으면 좋겠다는 생각. 그것밖에 바라는 거 없어요.
Therefore, the Korean government would like to propose the following to resolve the delay in compensation. First of all, the Korean government has proposed several methods to estimate the income regarding supporting documents or documentary evidence in the tourism industry. This method involves estimating the income using documents submitted by individuals in the same or similar business. If the related documents do not exist, electrical bills, water bills, and Korean government statistics will be used as additional supporting data. Korean tax law exempts the duty to issue tax receipts or receipts to individual businesses with annual income under 24 million won, which is equivalent of $20,000 a year. In this reason, the difficulties for preparing supporting documents for compensation must be put into consideration. If a calculation model is developed by the International Funds Committee, the Korean government will inform the residents to provide support so that requests are made in an appropriate manner. The negotiation between the IOPC Fund and Korean government regarding the finalization of the fishing restriction period must be settled in a swift manner. Despite the global economic stagnation and increasing oil prices, the number of tourists in Korea in 2008 increased by 7.5% compared to the previous year. This is due to more Koreans traveling domestically rather than going overseas, and more foreigners visiting Korea as a result of the drop in the currency exchange rate. The volume of personal cars has decreased due to increasing oil prices. And in contrast, tourism using public transportation increased. Also, the statistics indicate that the credit card use and consumption in Korea increased by 2.5%. Despite the increase in tourists in unaffected regions, the number of tourists dropped in the oil spill areas such as Taean, where the tourism decreased by as much as 77%, which indicates that the impression of the polluted environment did influence people's perspectives. Considering these circumstances, the Korean government would like to urge full payment of the assessed compensation in a swift manner. The Hebei Spirit Center achieved outstanding progress under close collaboration with the government through periodic meetings. For quicker compensations to take place, the Korean government hopes for active participation of the legal representatives of the fund and/or the ship owner. Also, in order to speed up the claim filing, additional increase of human resources are required in Hebei Spirit Center. None of the residents could have predicted the accident. Now, this sudden disaster threatens their very livelihood, giving hope to people in crisis by which they can live. This is our responsibility that cannot be delayed another single day. Therefore, the Korean government would like to request the active support of member states and the IOPC Fund Secretariat so that the Korean government's proposal can be reviewed in a positive manner, and that the assessment and compensations will be expedited in a reasonable fashion.